So this video is going to be more focused on physical media and optical media specifically. It's less about a specific game and more about media. I just said that. But I'm going to have a gaming video coming soon after this, but this is something that I wanted to do for a while. So everything started on our favorite platform, Facebook, Meta, whatever it's called. I keep seeing a lot of journalists, tabloids, whatever you want to call them, talking about something called disk rot. And I think some people don't really understand what it is and the extent of how it works. So I want to clarify this, because this has been pissing me off for the last couple of months. And I'm saying couple of months because usually that's how much it takes for me to end up recording a video. Because I'm lazy. So for those of you who do not know, disk rot is basically what it sounds like. Your disk is rotting. Everything fucking rots. In disk's case, is usually either the glue material that's keeping all the slices together, or just the material itself that's degrading. Either due to time or environmentally causes. I'm really not good with words today. It's not rocket science. Now with that baseline out of the way, let's talk about the elephant in the room. Sadly, I don't have an elephant, I only have a capybara plushie. His name is Roy. Anyway, it's not a secret that discs will die eventually. It's just a matter of time. But even since their creation, they were meant to be kept for a very long time. Now, if you look up on Google, you can find a weird range between 25 and 50 years. But I heard reports of people having, from the days of maybe, what's it called? Can't remember the name now. It was the disc before the disc. It was the laser disc. There are people that still have those. And they work. They still work. So give you an idea of how much they can stay alive, depending on the environment and how they are kept, of course. Laserdisc also degrades with use, so I should really mention that. I'm not too knowledgeable about it though. And then comes into my feed something from The Gamer. Yeah, we're getting there. With a weird title that appears only in the URL for some reason. Today I learned all my physical games are rotting. So you just learned about disk rot. Okay, congratulations. That's an improvement to your IQ. To boil it all down, this basically started with a news article about some discs from Warner Brothers from back in the day are starting to rot because of a bad batch. And now they're just using this narrative to start these clickbaity articles talking about how your collection is gonna die. And it's not. Just relax. It's not such a big deal. Now, just because of a bad batch, they use this, as I mentioned, to just say shit that's not true. Of course, in the article itself, it does mention that it takes a long time and it's just this batch. But I think the way it's packaged and all the headlines and everything is just... This is not disk rot, this is brain rot. Disk rot is coming for your classic game collection. Whoa, hide your collection. The disk rot boogeyman is coming. Throws a major wrench in the whole physical versus digital debate. Oh yeah, that too, but we're gonna talk about that in a minute. Now, in their fairness, they do give you this, you can get ahead of disk rot, telling you how to keep them alive. Just keep them out of the sunlight and keep them in a dry, safe environment and clean, and you should be fine for a very long time. I have a collection as well, as you know. I have discs that are older than me that are still running just fine, and I can't really say I struggle to keep them alive. It's more of just, I guess I'm a bit lucky myself with my environment, because it's not super humid, but it's not super dry. I'm keeping everything clean, and that's basically it. I would assume for some people that are in a more humid environment, they would need a dehumidifier or an air purifier or something, which honestly, it would work here as well, but for me, for now, I don't think... There might be one or two discs in my whole collection that maybe have disk rot, but from what I checked, I don't really have one. The hidden phenomenon that could ruin your old disc. Oh yeah, it's so fucking hidden. Things rot. What's this hidden phenomenon? Noticeable discoloration. Yeah, they're just describing how it looks. They're just talking about the history. I'm gonna leave... I'm debating whether I should leave this in the comments. You can look up the article and the URL thing from the video. I kind of don't want to like share these around just to get them clicks, and because they're getting the upper hand at that point. Because honestly, I read these and my brain is hurting. Why disk rot is a massive challenge for both archivists and collectors. They're making it sound like it's such a like huge thing that's just coming and is gonna kill everything. Of course, if you're not gonna keep your stuff clean and in proper condition, they're gonna die and they're gonna rot quicker. It's not a big deal to keep them alive. Why are they making this huge? It's like this cloud of evil that's coming and is gonna kill your shit. I don't get it. The game is forever damaged. Yes, so keep it clean. It is a big deal if you have it, and if you have a collection and you see that they're starting to die, or maybe you had like a flood in your house or something. I hope you didn't. This is something that if your collection is just in a normal room and it's kept clean, it's fine. But anyway, disc rot. It's another thing. The recordable discs don't last as long. This is basically talking about the R, the DVD-R, or rewritable, or the ones that you burn. I think to this day I still have discs at home, like burnt PS2 discs that still run on my modded PS2. I don't even take care of them. They're just in a box. Not even a box, like one of those tall plastic doohickeys with a dildo up going up. I don't know what's called. Yeah, some of them don't work anymore, but that's because I didn't really take care of them. But at the same time, most of them still do. If your parents or you have wedding videos on a DVD, yes, it's a good idea to make multiple backups, because honestly, one medium is not enough, especially nowadays. But if it's something like a recordable disc, if you keep it safe, it's fine. If you don't, and honestly, even if you don't, even if you do, it's good to have backups. It's not good to just rely on disc. Okay, let's just do this parallel for once. And why am I doing it to Roy? It's weird. Recordable discs, those are yours. It's your data from the get-go, and it's kind of your responsibility to take care of it. This point 4 here, recordable discs don't last as long. That's it could be technically true. Okay, let's just give them a fair thing, because these are meant to be recorded, man. These are not recorded in a factory. These are not made. It's not like you buy a Blu-ray nowadays and it's like made by the company or something. Those are a bit different. So I guess it's kind of true, but at the same time, the theoretical side and the practical real life scenario doesn't really match often, because as I mentioned, I think a lot of you guys have discs from in your closet somewhere with something, and it still works. Anyway, going next to proper storage and handling helps. Okay, that's good. Don't hold the disc by the shiny bit. Wash your hands and keep it in the box. I actually want to find like a subreddit of Laserdisc owners to say if this is actually true, because I've seen a lot of comments with people that even to this day have tapes and video cassettes that are still working and they were used a lot. So I don't know where these guys are coming from with this one. I'm not really, honestly, I collect disc-based stuff, but mostly from the CD drive era upwards. So anything from CD to Blu-ray. I'm not familiar with Laserdisc, so I might be wrong in this case, but I'm pretty sure there are people out there who still say that they just took care of them and they're fine. Hi, it's me from the future. So I'm recording this in post because, well, I procrastinated enough and the video is still not done, but the guys from Does It Play, and by the way, shout out to them, go and check them out if you want to know what games you actually buy and what games you actually have an empty disc on it. But these guys showcased a article from IGN, The Gift That Keeps On Giving. And it's about disc rot. And spoiler alert, because I'm not gonna go through the entire thing, it also mentions the whole Warner Brothers DVDs that didn't do well. And I'm not really surprised. Even in the comments section, I actually seen a lot of people complaining that, yeah, this is the same fear-mongering. I'm glad I'm not the only one. Are your DVDs rotting away? Are you sure? So, do they know it's happening or do they not? This is confusing. It starts off like the other ones. If you're like me, you have a bunch of DVDs on your shelf, blah blah blah, and I don't know why, but I'm certain this guy doesn't. If he does, well, sure, cool, but it seems like a lot of people that have this don't really know their thing. Here, this is what I was talking about. Any disc is susceptible to chemical deterioration. Sure, okay. Massive collector film and TV across all formats were produced by Warner Brothers. 5K to 6K films on VHS, Laserdisc, DVD, Blu-ray, 4K UHD. So it's the same old, honestly. How do you know if your DVDs are rotting? You will know. If your disc looks like this, then it's dead. It's probably dead. Also, what the fuck is... Anyway, I also noticed something here that was really like... For someone that owns discs in his shelf, I think this is a bit in a bad taste. Where was it? Where is it? So on the flip side, nearly all Warner Brothers produced HD DVD titles no longer play for any who did initially invest in that doomed format when it was in a showroom with Blu-ray for dominance. So he's basically clowning on people that engaged in a technology that was new back then and people saw potential in and wanted to support it, but because they were backing it and now it's a failed format, they I guess fuck me, right? It's such in a bad taste writing something like this, and it's not the first time I'm seeing stuff like this, but I think this was just really blatant and it kind of bothered me and rubbed me the wrong way. This is about life expectancy. Funny enough, actually, going back to the original post from Does It Play, funny enough, they actually got a X, Twitter, Twix, whatever it's called now, fact checker thingy, where it says this article says that Blu-rays have the shortest lifespan out of CDs and DVDs. However, GadgetsRank.com shows Blu-rays have significantly higher average and maximum lifespans. So it's basically bullshit. Did you find it helpful? Yes, fuck yeah, I did. And actually, let's go to GadgetsRank.com because they actually have this. I'm gonna leave this in the description as well with the other things that I'm gonna talk about. Past me is gonna talk about it. I'm gonna leave them with you because I'm in post right now. So this is interesting. It goes through like everything that can go wrong, like all the layering for every type of DVD, Blu-ray. Says like exposure to light. It basically boils down to like how much they can, like this is average lifespan and maximum lifespan. This is like, I think this is just if you're negligent, and if I think even then you're if you're not like rubbing them against sandpaper, you're probably not gonna reach this. You're gonna probably go around here. That's just my 2 cents in that case, because I haven't really tested it, and actually I don't really want to test it with sandpaper. The lifespan of a Blu-ray disc is generally longer than any of a DVD. DVDs are an estimated lifespan of around 20 to 30 years, depending on the same factors that affect Blu-ray discs. Because it's basically the same concept, it's just that it's a bigger capacity, and it's maybe slightly like multi-layered, and the laser is different. It's called Blu-ray and it's not laser. I'm not a scientist, and I'm not an expert on this field. I'm just a guy that has boxes of discs in his shelves. So from my experience, I don't really have anything like that. But yeah, I wanted to introduce this before continuing. I'm gonna leave you now with past Kaz and his vintage t-shirt that needs to be ironed. It looks like it's been stomped on by pirates and kangaroos and shit. See you later, alligator. That was cringe. Speaking of Reddit, looking after this kind of disk rot scenario, I discovered this. The Library of Congress found that disk rot is overblown. My point exactly. I feel like all of those articles are really overblowing the situation, and they're just fear-mongering, thinking that your grandmother's collection of The House, or I don't know if there's a show called The House, maybe it is, I'm not sure, but her collection is gonna fucking die tomorrow, and you can't do anything about it. Go to streaming services and pay for the show that you might or might not have in its entirety. This is another issue, and I'm gonna keep it for another time. I don't think it's my place to talk about it, but it's dumb. I don't like streaming services for that reason. I'm gonna leave this one in the description because actually this might be a good read, and it's really in depth. Not like the articles that we mentioned before. There have been multiple tests in different years testing optical media and checking for errors and stuff. It's more credible than the tabloids that we mentioned before. But yeah, all this shit started from Warner Brothers doing a bad batch of discs, and now everyone's using this as a scapegoat, and it's really pissing me off. Now, the comments. As I mentioned, I found this on social media. Of course, there are gonna be comments on these articles. And there are like two camps. There are people who are defending digital and like it's convenient and the Netflix and stuff, and Game Pass. And there's the other side where it's like, yeah, fuck your streaming services, and you don't have the full thing, and you don't get the same quality. There are like a lot of explanations as to why their side is better than the other. I think the biggest problem here. I get both sides. I get physical collecting. I collect myself, and I like owning my things. I like paying once and having it for a longer time, and once the support ends, I can still use it. Because with digital, the only side you can keep the stuff that you already bought is, well...
Hey, Scungili!
Yeah. Some people don't like to talk about it. It's like the boogeyman. It's like Lord Moldy Butt. Piracy. But what can you do? I'm pretty sure we're gonna see a big influx of piracy coming forward in the next couple of years again, simply because the shit that's happening nowadays in the world. But going back to our things, we're talking about physical and digital and stuff. Both camps have their points, but they don't see the bigger picture. Yes, to this day, physical media is still the best way to preserve media, video games, movies, whatever you want to call them. The biggest problem is that we're kind of putting our faith into these companies that don't really care. Discworld, it is a bit overblown, yes, but it is a reality, and eventually it will die. So either we will need to put our hope into the companies that own the IP and the media itself to make multiple backups on newer SSDs, whatever they're gonna use. I don't really care. They can put it in the cloud, but even that, solar flare and they're dead. And I think the bigger, broader issue is that we don't have any protection for digital. If you buy, as like a while ago, there was like an article talking about how Steam discloses that you're buying a license, and it is true. But at the same time, on console, you can still buy games physically, and you have the whole thing on the disc. You can install it offline and it works, if it's not a live service game, of course, because those are a completely different thing. And I kind of get it, but at the same time, look at The Crew. It was a live service game back in the day. We didn't really call it back then like that. I think it was just always online, and now people are really annoyed. And ask anyone that played The Crew, then they're gonna say that 90% of the game was single player. It didn't have to be online. And it's just Ubisoft trying to sell their sequels, which they're basically gonna repeat this every time with every title. When The Crew Motorfest or The Crew 2 is gonna die, they're gonna do the exact same thing. People are gonna be pissed off, and they're gonna be like, oh, sucks to suck, here's our sequel. If they survive that long, here's our sequel, you idiot. Buy it full price again, or probably even more with inflation. Yeah, give us our money. And then you end up disappointed because the sequel is not like the original game. The Crew Motorfest and Crew 2 don't have the same level of a single player campaign as the Crew 1 did. Those had a different map, they had different events, and they don't get it, they don't care. And it's good we have the Crew restoration projects and stuff like that. Like Ubisoft is getting sued, and it's good. Fuck them. I don't care. Fuck Ubisoft. I think I'm gonna say this every video. This is gonna be like a trend. Editing cast here. I actually forgot to mention this, but there is a initiative going on called Stop Killing Games. This is actually a pretty big deal, and I'm gonna leave it in the description a link for this and for Accursed Farms. This is the channel that actually started this whole thing. Go ahead and read it on it. I actually did my part for my country. I think right now there's something going on in the UK where they need the petition signing, whatever. I'm doing a bad job explaining it, so go in the description, go on Accursed Farms, you'll find more answers there than what I'm gonna give you here. But this is actually a pretty big deal for the future of game preservation and stopping company from killing games, as it says. But yeah, that's all I want to say. But yeah, we don't have anything in place to protect digital. If you buy a game on Steam, or actually no, let's go back. Let's take the Xbox 360, because this was a huge thing when they announced that they're gonna close the marketplace, and they did the weird update where the dashboard looks really barren and it's weird. That was a really big thing, because a lot of people were going back and buying DLC and buying digital games on it with the weird FOMO that happened. But people don't really understand one thing, is that yeah, if you have it on your Xbox account or your Microsoft account or whatever, you can download it now while the Microsoft servers are still supporting the Xbox 360. But what happens when we get to, like, I don't know, actually no, even quicker, 2 generations ahead, if Xbox still has consoles after the series? Who says that Microsoft is gonna keep support for it. People are defending digital, like people are defending the whole The Crew thing for getting closed because you can't expect them to keep the servers alive forever, right? Yet those are the same people that go on Xbox 360 close to store closing, buying everything they can and not thinking that in the future those games that they bought, they won't be accessible anymore because you don't have access to the server anymore, because you're depending on their server to be live so that you can download the stuff from them even though it's in your account. I don't understand why people don't see this. And we don't have any laws, no regulations to protect us from that kind of stuff for trying to copy my purchase of a digital product. Okay, you're gonna have to go on the bed. Get in there. I need a keyboard. A couple of months ago, I discovered this artist called US Gold 95. He does a lot of those synthwave, really retro style of ambient music. And the cool thing is that you can just download the whole thing, you can listen to it, you can play it on whatever device you want, you get the files straight up. This, if I'm careful with it, and if I make multiple backups of it, I can just keep it forever. That's another discussion with music and stuff like that, but just want to mention one thing is that music is kind of dying with all the Spotify and stuff. There are a lot of companies that don't really care about the medium. They're just using it to make money. And some artists, because they don't play with the rules that they're setting to make money, they just disappear and no one really hears about them afterwards. So, I don't know, if you find an artist, dude, follow wherever he's doing his stuff and try and support him directly instead of through these streaming sites. But I used Spotify for like 5 months now, paid. I think I stopped when they announced they're gonna raise the prices, and it wasn't the reason why I stopped using it. It was the reason that I couldn't find songs that I actually discovered through other places like YouTube, or either like some remixes are there. They are. I'm stupid today for some reason. But there are some songs that either I find some shitty version, or nowadays, for example, with Devil Trigger and Bury the Light, the songs from Devil May Cry 5, those were replaced with some weird AI sounding crap. I believe they removed it now, but you can find it on YouTube. It's horrible. I listened to it and I was like, even the people that worked on the songs, they have no idea what happened. They know it was not them that changed the songs on Spotify. So this is what I'm talking about. They have very little control over this kind of crap. But anyway, that was a music tangent. Let's go back to our things. I hope that in the future, with all the lawsuits and with all the crap that's happening nowadays, that we're gonna end up having some sort of regulation or stuff in place to stop. Because yeah, digital, it has more longevity than physical, but for the time being, physical is the best way to keep your stuff. People don't get it. They're fighting in the comments, they're defending their side without even seeing the other side's point of view. Yes, digital is more convenient, but you lose access to ownership. Physical has the downsides because it's physical. If it breaks, you're done. I need to get another one, or I need to find it somewhere else. Or
come to negotiate, eh? Have you slimy git?
Yeah, in conclusion, physical is not dying. Not brain rot. Disc rot is not coming as a cloud of evil. Your collection is not gonna be like Americans want to bomb me. It's gonna be fine. Just don't keep your shit in the sunlight. Don't keep them in heat and dust and stuff. And you're gonna be fine for the majority of the time. This was my ramble. Hopefully the next video is gonna Hopefully the next video is gonna be something more gaming related. I'm working on a GTA video, and since we're talking about physical stuff, this is the very first copy of GTA that I had. It's still working on both on my emulator, because I did a backup copy of it, and it still works on my CRT over there, which is I mounted my PS2 on it. It still plays, it's fine, and it's still fun. And look at this shit. Look, I don't think it's gonna show really well, but oh, there's my headphones. I think that a lot of them are superficial scratches. There's like this cum stain or whatever it's there's like a line there. I don't know what that is, but doesn't affect the reading capabilities of the disc. I have this since, because I got into the PS2 a bit later. I believe, no, you know what? When I got this, I believe GTA San Andreas was out. So just give them some form of perspective for that. Thank you for watching. If you think you have some more answers, then you can fill me in about laser discs and other stuff like that. Leave a comment and tell me what you think. Have a good one. Bye. So it's basically bullshit.